What's up, guys? Welcome to another CHAMPDOGZ video. Today I'm going to try to break down the numbers, what they mean, and how they can help you with your build. So today we're going to go over skill power, electronics, health, stamina, primary DPS, and firearms. Pay attention to these little numbers here and their icons. The icon will be used to get talents on your weapons, which I'll show you a bit later, and these top numbers here and how they interact with the bottom numbers. Now, electronics, I broke down in my last video how they help with your skill power and the effect of your abilities. Now, the effect of your abilities are going to go up and down depending on your skill power and your electronics. You will see changes on them. The bottom part, which are your supercharges, seem to be standardized, so they won't be affected by anything from what I've seen. I'm not going to go too much into the electronics and skill power, as I already did a video on that. But let's get into the health and stamina, which is a lot more complicated. Now, you see I have 67k health on this build. So basically, I can take 67k worth of damage without healing myself until I die. Then I will be dead. But the important part of gear build, especially in the dark zone, which a lot of people have not, I guess, paid attention to or don't know, is armor. Now, armor is really important, and it's kind of like a subcategory of the two, of health and stamina. If you notice you're in the dark zone and you're always dying from enemy weapons and all, you want to increase your armor. This is exactly what armor does now. And you see armor, if you scroll into here, you see my armor at 4K plus mitigates 58.30% of weapon damage, which means 58.30% of the weapon damage, only weapon damage. I still take all the explosive, all the other stuff. This is just from the armor. It mitigates that much of weapon damage. So for the dark zone build, you definitely want to go high with armor, as it's going to help you. I heard the cap was 65, the hard cap. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm sticking with that for now. So 65, I hear, is the mitigation cap. See your max health, let it work with your armor, try to get some health regeneration. Also your gear has attributes such as health, armor, health regeneration, damage, resilience. Now all this is going to help you. See, I have a 10% all damage resilience. So 10% isn't very much, right? So along with my armor, I know I'm pretty good at not taking much weapon damage or mitigating 58.30% of it. I also want to get some resilience to some stuff. Now, it's hard to get all damage resilience, but every gear has something called like exotic damage resilience, bleed resistance, blind, death resistance, burn resistance, disorient, so on and so forth. So if you feel like in PvP or in the dark zone, a lot of people are using a certain thing that you want to mitigate against with, specifically, you go with one of these. Your gear, inside your gear, most gear has stuff like that, like exotic damage resilience and all that. So you want to go ahead and get it. Like this one here, for instance, has burn resistance, so it's 11% burn resistance. And if I feel like the blowtorch guys are really killing me too much, well, that's what I want to do. I want to get a specific kind of resilience to that. But the armor just mitigates weapon damage, as it states. So you always want to be careful with that. You want to try to get that, because in PvP most of the damage done is by weapon damage. Now, exotic damage resilience. Basically, exotic damage, if you read all damage resilience, it says additional damage mitigation against all damage except environmental. So exotic damage resilience is environmental damage, meaning everything that comes from your grenade, like the tear gas, flashbang, everything else that's not weapon damage is pretty much considered exotic damage. So that's what exotic damage resilience is. So in PvP, it's also a good thing to get a lot of exotic damage resilience. I don't have any because I mostly die by the guns. I'm pretty good at getting away from all the other stuff. but you want to go with exotic damage resilience because a lot of people drop them shock turrets, try to stun you, stun lock you, and all that. So, it helps out a lot along with the armor. So, get your health and get your stamina right on your build. So, next time you're on, check the survivability page on your character, see what you have, and see what you need. And think about what you're dying from the most and what you need to add in order for you to be successful. Now let's talk about DPS, primary DPS and firearms. See the little numbers have an icon next to them. Now that icon unlocks talents, and you see to the right of the gun you have two talents. I don't have any of them. But to get these talents, I go to my vector and you see these talents: commanding, self-preserved, they all have something that they do. So right next to it you'll see the little icon with a number white if you meet that requirement, or red if you don't meet that requirement. So you want to get these requirements to unlock all of these talents if you're going to do weapon damage and you want to do damage with your weapon or your DPS. You want to get these talents. You don't always need these talents, depending on what you're going for, because some of them, if you can't meet the requirement and you like your gear setup and you feel like you can do without a certain talent, you can go ahead and skip it. um, I'm happy with the one that I do have right here. Killing a target reduces skill cooldowns by 8.50%. I use a lot of skill power. I love that. I'm cool with that. But if you want to be a primary DPS with your weapon, you need to unlock these talents, and that's how you do it. Now, primary DPS. You see mine right now isn't very high. It's at 115. Now that means basically I have the potential to do that much damage if I land all of my shots in all of my clips. That is the base damage I can do, potential. To the right you'll see my damage is 8617, 925 rounds per minute, 37 bullets in the magazine. If I land all 37 bullets of that, I have the potential to do a base damage of 8617, right? Now, these numbers can go higher or lower than the base. If you miss a lot of your shots, you're not going to do the 8617. So get a weapon that you're going to land your shots with. Now, these numbers can go up though. Also, if you do headshots and you get the crit, with the headshot, it's going to go up. You get body shots, crits, anything that you have crits is going to bring it up. So primary DPS gets a little tricky. Firearms basically enhance your weapon damage. Now if you go here, you see my weapon damage is only 6k. I'm not very high. I don't use my weapon all that much. But these are the stats that you have unlocked with your weapon and your gear. Like modern your weapons, when you go to your weapon and you install mods in them, you'll see they have crit chance. Not all of them do, but some of these attachments do. Those are the ones you want. Some of them have weapon damage. Those are the ones you want to look for. Anything with crit damage and weapon damage, that's gonna give you true damage. Now you can inflate these numbers. See, this one here gives me weapon damage, which is great. So you want stuff like this. You can inflate your DPS numbers by putting a bunch of attachments that have accuracy on them. Like, yeah, your number's gonna look high. You can tell your buddies, hey, look, I'm a 200k plus DPS. You're not better than me, blah blah blah. But if you want to be effective, basically you're gonna want mods with crit damage and weapon damage. You could put everything in here with accuracy and all these numbers will skyrocket. But basically you really want to do damage regardless of what your number is going to be. You want it to be a solid number. So let's go back to this chart. This chart tells me my crit hit chance. Now this comes from gear mods and gear. Some of your gear, like these gloves for instance, gives me a critical hit chance, SMG damage. Now basically this is going to increase those numbers that I just showed you on the last page. You can also put mods in your gear which give you crit chance. Now crit chance, a lot of people don't know this. When you equip anything that has crit chance on it, it also boosts up your DPS numbers when you mod it with, like this mod here, electronics and crit hit chance. If I take this mod out, you'll see my number go down. Now I add the crit hit chance, it'll make it go up. So you want the crit hit chance. Also, if you want to boost up the number a little bit, another thing you can do, well, not just to boost up the number, but what you should do, you see my primary is SMG. So for my weapon, for my hand, I use the SMG attribute with the crit hit chance. Now that's gonna work well because I mostly use my SMG, and that's the way I want to have it set up. And the way I have my weapon mods is crit hit chance, weapon damage, all that I can get to increase all that damage. Now it gets really tricky because you want all this crit hit chance, you want crit hit damage, you want headshot damage, you know, you want to be accurate with your weapon, you want those talents. So you got to try to get all of that with the build that you want. You know, try to do the best to get within range of everything you want to get to. Now another thing you want to do is reload speed. Very important in the dark zone. You don't want to be out of ammo. First of all, you want to finish off a clip and be able to reload quick and finish enemies off. You want to extend the magazine for more bullets. You know, you want all of that. So you see, this chart is very useful because it shows you what you have with every weapon, which bonuses you have. I currently don't have any because I mostly use my SMG with a backup assault rifle. So all my stuff is an SMG damage bonus. And that's the way I set mine up. Now for combat, damage to elites. Basically, the elites, you want to get some type of damage on them. So I got a 10%, which ain't very much. I mostly use skill power build, but if you're DPS and you use mostly your weapon and that's the way you do it, you want to get these numbers up. Enemy armor damage. Now this goes for elites, this goes for NPCs, this works well in the dark zone. You see I have plus 9%. So remember before I was talking about the health. Let's go back to the health chart. Survivability, and you see armor mitigates 48.72 weapon damage. Right? This prevents the weapon damage. But now on the DPS side, you have enemy armor damage. So another player, I'm going to do 9% more damage to their armor. And this also comes from your gear. So I can do 9% more damage to their armor. But remember, they have their armor also. So you want to balance this up so you can take off more chunks of their shield and take more stuff off of them so you can kill them quicker. So you want to worry about these numbers. Always look to the numbers that you have and pay attention to what you're doing and what you use. Use your gear wisely. You know, like you see these talents on the gear increase damage by 13%. Now this talent is a broken talent right now. They will fix it soon. But every gear has talents. You know, you want to try to use these talents in the dark zone. Heal 2% every second. Or in status effect, you have well, the knees don't give you nothing much. You see health regenerates twice as fast while in cover. All these talents are very useful. So use the piece of gear with the talent that you think is gonna help you. Like this is a DPS piece. The hands and the hands and the holsters pretty much give you the best DPS stats. And that's the ones you want to focus on when it comes to DPSing. They're the most useful. They're the ones that do the best attributes, and the hands give you the crit hit damage. And you see that. So these are the numbers as I understand them. Use these charts to help you out. It's under your character screen. You can look, you can review your character, you can see what you have, you can see what you need. You can try to do the best to make your character build as strong as possible. Use it wisely, be smart, read everything. See you in the dark zone. Good luck everybody. Thanks for watching the CHAMPDOGZ video. Leave your comments at the bottom.